Nvidia today shared some amazing information about one of its biggest AI customers, and this customer is actually getting bigger and bigger. So in today's episode, obviously I want to take a closer look at that and some other updates impacting the overall stock, especially some of their competitors. So let's get started with today's episode. But before we do that, if you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button, as this is the best channel you're going to get any Nvidia and semiconductor news. Also check out my pinned comment for a special offer at fool.com/Jose and my earnings ebook for the semiconductor market if you want to grow your knowledge in this space. So now let's get started.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so today on October 28th, Nvidia announced some pretty cool updates to one of its largest customer, xAI, and how the supercomputer that it has built, which has 100,000 GPU systems, was possible thanks to Nvidia's networking solution. So this is going to cover a lot, but first let's just take a closer look at Nvidia's stock price right now. The stock is sitting at $140 year to date. Congratulations to all us Nvidia investors. The stock is up 191%. I do believe by the end of the year we can reach 200% easily. So pretty excited for the next few months. Well, now let's kind of call back to this xAI. Nvidia today announced that the xAI supercomputer cluster comprising of 100,000 Nvidia GPUs in Tennessee. And reminder, this is the largest AI supercomputer by far. And this is pretty interesting, right? Because there's a lot of other AI companies, and I'm pretty sure most of them are worried about the kind of infrastructure that xAI and Elon Musk have. I mean, in recent reports, we have heard that Elon Musk, that OpenAI has asked investors to avoid AI startups, including companies like xAI, and we can see other reports that OpenAI and other competitors are reportedly concerned about the compute power of xAI. So we can really see how Elon is doing something pretty impressive. And there's a lot to do behind this. It's both behind the xAI team and obviously Nvidia side as well. But they mentioned one of the main reasons that xAI is able to build this supercluster and be very efficient is because of Nvidia's Spectrum-X Ethernet networking platforms, which is designed to deliver superior performance to multi-tenant hyperscale AI factories using standard-based Ethernet. Now, the great thing about this is in this post, Nvidia also announced that xAI is in the process of doubling the size of Colossus to combine a total of 200,000 Nvidia Hopper GPUs. This is going to be by far the best, in my opinion, AI company coming out in the next few months. Elon Musk also kind of reshared this, that soon to become 200,000 H100/H200 training cluster in a single building. I'm not gonna lie, Elon with this AI company is doing wonders. Now, the great thing about this is just the advancement of xAI. xAI was actually able to build this supercomputer in 122 days, so less than half a year, where a typical time frame for a system of this size can take many months to years. And then it only took 19 days from time the first rack rolled onto the floor until training began. So we can see xAI is very efficient. But what's also pretty efficient is Nvidia's networking solutions. Thanks to Nvidia's Spectrum-X, it maintained roughly 95% data throughput enabled by Spectrum-X congestion control. And while we might not necessarily know what's behind this networking solution or these networking powers, it's good to kind of see where the typical Ethernet market would be. The levels of performance cannot be achieved at scale with standard Ethernet, which creates thousands of flow collisions while delivering only 60% data throughput. So that is a huge growth there, right? That is about a 50% growth compared to, if I did my math right, yeah, about 50%, maybe closer to 60% growth improvements in the kind of throughput enabled. And this Spectrum-X is going to be, in my opinion, a crucial revenue segment for Nvidia. We already know that this is becoming a multi-billion-dollar revenue for the company as they reported last earnings. but it's just another example and evidence that Nvidia is not just an AI chip company, right? They're a networking company. Unfortunately, AMD can't combat this, right? They can't combat the Spectrum X, and for that reason, AMD had to join with a lot of other players to join to create kind of that Ultra Ethernet consortium, where a lot of different companies are trying to find the ways to combat NVIDIA's Spectrum X solution. So again, it just showcases NVIDIA's true leadership in this market where one company is pretty much leading this space. Some other things. So that's all I have here for XAI. Obviously, very bullish in a lot of aspects. Most people are bullish because of this 200,000 GPU cluster. What I believe is the actual bullish scenario here is how advanced NVIDIA's networking solution that is going to allow for more clusters like this to be possible. So I think, again, very simple-minded would think that the 200,000 GPU cluster is the best thing here. I think once you go levels and levels, you know that the real reason is the Spectrum X. There is a YouTube video out there by Serve the Home, where they actually go and give tour of this supercomputer. It came out today. It is sponsored by Supermicro because Supermicro is one of the partners that actually helped build this solution, and they showcase a lot of Supermicro's kind of products in here, kind of how the servers go, kind of how the solution go, the cooling solution goes, the networking solution goes. So if you want to learn more about how these AI supercomputers look and what goes within them, I would say check out the video. It's only 15 minutes long and you can learn a lot. Now, another thing that I thought was pretty cool is I'm just going to throw a random Easter egg here. This supercomputer is powered not completely, but some form in the power line, they are using Tesla Megapacks. So if you are a Tesla shareholder, this is something that should be pretty interesting, as obviously they have that Megapack solution. And if the AI market is growing at such a vast level, if the data center market is also growing, as we need more power infrastructure, we can see Tesla Megapacks becoming a growth opportunity for the company. Now, the next two topics, so I have two more topics. The next topic I want to take a closer look at is dealing with NVIDIA's chips kind of going to countries that they did not have to go to, or AI chips in general, not necessarily NVIDIA chips. So we are hearing reports by Bloomberg that a drug company in India was purchasing chips and then sending it over. Now, we still don't know if they are either NVIDIA's chips or AMD's chips. What it does seem to be reported in this article is that they were Dell's servers. I'm going to guess most likely they were NVIDIA chips just because they are the ones with the biggest market share. So in forms of pulling a straw, I think you're more likely to pull NVIDIA here. This isn't necessarily anything bearish in my opinion for NVIDIA. I think these server companies need to really start looking at where they're selling. And unfortunately, this is probably one of the bad things about being such a big market. Everybody's just trying to ship as many servers as they can. And sometimes they might miss something, and that can be a national security risk. So if you are a Dell shareholder, maybe keep a closer eye on something that might come out of this. So something there. We also see something with bigger companies, right? TSMC supposedly cut off a Chinese firm for reportedly purchasing some chips from TSMC and getting manufactured some AI chips and then sending it to a company that's on their restriction list, which is Huawei. So again, even the big players are also kind of experiencing this. And again, in my opinion, it's just because the AI market is growing at such rapid levels that it's so hard to keep track of things. And unfortunately, that can't be an excuse. And I believe because of this, there is the possibility that we might even see stricter restrictions in the future. The final, actually, I have two more topics after this. The next one I want to take a closer look at is SK Hynix recently reported earnings. I actually added it to the earnings ebook. So if you do have the earnings ebook, you should have gotten the updated version yesterday, and it has SK Hynix. SK Hynix reported amazing earnings thanks to AI-driven HBM, which is very bullish for Nvidia in general. If you haven't checked it out, look at the pinned comment. I have a special coupon there, $10 off, and my free ebook for Q2 if you purchase Q3. So a lot of great information if you want to learn more about the semiconductor space. Now, this is the final news, and this one is pretty interesting. I think this is very bullish for AMD, not necessarily too bearish for Nvidia. But an analyst at Rosenblatt believes, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. Let me know in the comments below how bad I butchered it. But they are saying that AMD's MI300 and 325 yields are trending better than expected. Unfortunately, NVIDIA yields are a bit weaker after the recent fix. So I'm not saying this is game over for NVIDIA, but in a scenario, which we're in right now, where it's a supply constraint market, so you only have a limited amount of supply and you have almost, I'm not saying infinite amount of demand, but you have more demand than you have supply. If your yields are higher, it means you're producing more chips. If you're able to produce more chips and you're still in a supply constraint market, you will be able to sell more chips. So AMD, while it doesn't necessarily have the best products, because of the market we're in, there's a very bullish trend available for it. We do have earnings tomorrow, and maybe we see more than just a $500 million update on their guidance for the AI accelerator, right? It seems like Lisa Su every quarter just increases by 500. If they do more this upcoming quarter, I think that would be very, very bullish for the stock. And if these reports are true, then this gives some positive notes for AMD investor. Again, it's not necessarily bearish for Nvidia. They're still sold out. They're still going to be market share leader. But when you're in the supply constraint space, it gives an opportunity for second player to actually be able to sell chips. If there wasn't a supply constraint, it would most likely be a one player take all. But people are willing to take anything they can get. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did enjoy watching that video on XAI supercomputer, and I also enjoyed reading more about the kind of yields that are being seen for some of these AI chips. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.